Hey, Vsauce, Michael here. Hello. My name is Gotta Speak the Truth, and today I'll be doing a countdown of my top favorite and worst games of 2019 and stuff like that. So, let's get right into it. Let me just go downstairs real quick. Let me unplug my phone. Broken freaking GoPro thingy. Okay, so let's do this. Don't mind the audio of the TV. I gotta. No. Okay. So, let's jump right into it. Number one, Just Cause 2. I know it's backwards because of the camera, and that's kind of stupid, but Just Cause 2. I really like this game. Like, it was pretty fun for a while, and I used to mess around with a bunch of stuff and do like a bunch of stuff in the game. But yeah, it was a pretty good game, and it was I didn't finish the game because I didn't really feel like it, so I just messed around and crashed planes in the buildings and did a bunch of dumb stuff. So, number two is Gears of War 1 for the Xbox 360. I got this for like $2, for $2 at GameStop, and the thing I didn't like about it was that you could die you died easier in the game. You died easier than in the other ones, because if you got shot like 3 times, you would just immediately die, and I didn't like that. So that was kind of a bad game for me, but I still liked it, and I beat it, and everything was good about it. So I'm probably going to sell this one for money or some shit. I mean, well, I messed that one up. So we got number 3. We got Left 4 Dead 1. The other one my friend lent to me, but this is the collection edition. And it was because I only played the second one because that's the only one I could get, and my friend gave one to me, but it didn't work at the time, so I got a different one. So it was a good game. What I liked about it was that you could switch between levels and game modes and stuff like that, but I never had like online. Well, I did, but a while ago, but stuff's going on with it. Number 4. Number 4 is Left 4 Dead 2. I like this a little bit more better than number 1 because it had more guns and more modes. And it almost felt like you could attach to the characters a little bit, like get a feel for the story, which I liked. And that was really fun. And I played a little bit with my friend before. And he took down his channel, so you can't really see that one, but Halo Reach, number 5. Halo Reach was a good game. I played the campaign, and then, like, playing most of, like, the Forge thing, and, like, making my own worlds and playing with friends and stuff was really fun. But that was really fun about that one. Number 6 is Prototype. This is a really good game. I loved messing around with this game and doing like a bunch of random stuff. The powers in the game were really fun, even though I don't really like third-person shooters and beat-em-up games, but it was a really fun game. Number 7 is Gears of War Judgment. This one I haven't completed because the end boss was a little too hard, but it was fun for a while, and it had like this sort of story that you could like adapt to, and like the choices depended on your choice. The game depended on your choice, and it would change, which I liked about that one as well. Number 8 is Earth Defense Force Insect Armageddon. This is another third-person shooter that I liked. I liked a lot of the creatures in the game, and it was like really fun for me to like run around and shoot up a bunch of things that were destroyable environments. And the enemies were really cool too. And there was like this Daddy Longlegs thing that it was like a robotic one, and it used to like shoot out like lasers and stuff. It was like really tall, it was like as big as the world and stuff. Number 8, let's see here. 2, 3. Number 9 is Resident Evil 7, Biohazard. And it was really quick, really easy. I never gotten around to getting the expansion pack because I didn't really feel like it. But it was a good game. Like I said, like the first-person atmosphere was like a new change for the Resident Evil game, for the Resident Evil universe, and it changed it up a lot. And then the expansion pack, which I've watched videos on, is that you can play as Chris and whatever before the mission begins, and it's like really good. It's really cool that you can do that. There's a bunch of mini games in there as well, where you can play as Clancy from the Derelict Footage House. You can play as him and do a bunch of mini games with him. Number 10 is Zombie Army Trilogy. This was a really good game. Another third-person one, but it was really cool that you can like shoot the zombies and would show like this camera, the bullet zooming where it was, and then it would hit them, and it was pretty cool. I highly recommend this game as well. It's like a really good game. It's kind of like Left 4 Dead, but it's in a third-person atmosphere. All the levels are unlocked and everything. But that was a good game. Number 11 is Dying Light: The Following. This one is better than the first one because it includes the first one and the second one in it. But in the second one, you get a crossbow, you get cars, you get like a whole lot of things. And it's a really, really good game. I like doing like the night missions and stuff and messing around and doing a bunch of other stuff. It was like a good game to go with. Number 10 is Minecraft for the Xbox One 2019. I know some of you viewers are gonna get pissed off at me because, like, oh, that's childish, and yes, I know it is, but in the 360 edition, right here, this one, once I lost my Xbox Live for the 360, it took all my, things I used to have originally in the game, and so I bought this so I could have all that stuff back. I don't play this a lot because just not that much. Number 12 is Grand Theft Auto 5 2019 for the Xbox One. This was a good game because it has first person in it, and I love first person for games, how they remade it, and stuff like that. So, but I love doing a bunch of random stuff. There was like a bunch of cheat codes that I got from the phone for the phone in GTA 5. But like if you entered in like a few phone numbers on the thing, it would like spawn the stuff or like give you stuff. Number 13 is Outlast Trilogy for the Xbox One 2017. I know some people might get scared of this game, but the first one was really easy. I can breeze right through it on any difficulty because there's like an infinite run thing. The second one, however, was really hard. It had 27 levels, and it's 12 chapters and 27 levels, and they were really hard, and some of the parts in there were really scary. I know one of my teachers, Miss Vanessa, her daughter or son plays it. I can't remember, but she says it's really scary. But that's her opinion. But number 14 is the Walking Dead Telltale series trilogy collection. Sorry, for the Xbox One, obviously. It has 3 game modes. It has like first season, second season, the Final Frontier, and the Michonne DLC. I love that. I love the point and click adventures. I don't really like all of them. And it was a little, it was fun though. But, I'm going to upload a video probably tomorrow, most definitely tomorrow because it's the weekend, being a total asshole in The Walking Dead, collection. Number 14, or 15, I don't remember, whatever, is Little Nightmares. This was a really, easy game. I know I died a few times, and it was really easy because it wasn't that difficult. It was like a survival horror game, and it was really cool. I got hooked on it for quite a while, even though I kept beating it. I just liked it, and it was like a really good game to get hooked on. Number whatever we're on is Halo 5. The disc is not in there. I'm kind of pissed off at that, but it was a good game. Some people were saying it ruined the Halo series, but I really like the graphics and the way you can do the guns with and stuff like that. I gotta find the disc, so that's gonna be hard. Halo Anniversary. This was a good game because you can switch between the good graphics and the polygon graphics for the Xbox original. That was a good game. Like going back to it, I've never played Halo 2. I know that's kind of stupid, but I just never had like any of the old systems. Let's go with the full game series here. Lost Planet 1. I haven't beat it yet, but there was a really good game mechanic that you can go into FPS mode, and it was really cool. You can't do it in the other ones, which is kind of stupid. But if you had online, you could play as the Acre and stuff like that. Some people might not know this game. I know a lot of people in my school might not. Well, most definitely not. And it was like a really hard game. Next up is Lost Planet 2. Lost Planet 2, I was stuck on a certain level, but I finally beat it because I was I just didn't like get really familiar with it, but it was a really good game because they're like aliens and like monsters and stuff. It's like really cool. Lost Planet 3, I never beat either, but it was a really good game. Like the graphics, like the fog graphics and stuff like that. Like the graphics on the game, it made you felt like you were actually in the game, and it was like a really good atmosphere, and it had like a lot of horror elements to it. This one actually kind of scared me with the monsters they had in it too, because it introduced you to like a whole bunch of like monsters, like a giant crab monster and a bunch of stuff like that. One of my favorite series of the game are Fear 1, 2, and 3. Fear was a little crappy, like the graphics belonged to like an older time, and it just but it was still good. I played through it like beat it like 2 times. There's so many levels on there, and you would have to like be careful because like some of them, like even the easy difficulty was hard because it gave you like more of an element of not hiding behind cover, slowing down time, and being aware of your surroundings. And it had like a psychological horror to it as well, because you used to hear like the whispers, and it used to mess up with Beckett's head, stuff like that. Fear 2 is with also Beckett. When in the Fear games, Beckett never talked. It was just like a silent character and stuff like that, like a Metro and stuff like that. But it was a really good game. I liked like a lot of the guns, and it was hard to choose like which one you wanted to bring because they looked all so cool. And like the monsters in the game were completely awesome. Were really awesome, and I like those, like the monsters in the game. Like the replica units and everything, the wraiths, like everything else. Fear 3 didn't really do it for me. It was more of like an action shooter game, but it was still a good game. I mean, it was like a really action-packed game, and they had monsters in it as well. And it didn't really do it for me. There was a bunch of annoying enemies in there, and it just didn't really do it for me. I'm sorry for people who are a fan of the game, but it just didn't really do it for me. I'm not gonna go through the kids' games because I just don't really want to. Next up is Alien vs. Predator 2010. This one I was really hooked on until one of the students just kept mentioning it over and over again, and I just didn't like aliens and predators anymore. But I still do. It's just that it doesn't really do it for me anymore. I can't really show gameplay of these right now because I will be doing a video of my newer games and older games soon. But This one, you could have 3 game modes in it. You can play as a Predator, Alien, and Human. People are saying, like, Alien vs. Predator 2 is good. I've never played it because it was on an older system, and I just, like I said, I never had any of them. So, that one was a good game. Next up is, Wolfenstein 1, 2019, what is it? Let's see here. 2009. The graphics were good-ish. It was an open map game. It wasn't open map, but I mean, like, you had to defeat, like, a bunch of zombies, humans, and other stuff like that. There's a few annoying enemies in there. I never beaten the game. I don't know how many levels there are in there, but it was a really, really long game. I didn't know it was gonna end. There was a favorite on my list, Deadly Premonition. This was a really, really good game. Over-the-shoulder game where there's a bunch of, like, demons and stuff like that. Like, it was like a mystery game. It was a mystery game, and you had to, like, figure out who the killer was and stuff like that. I made it to the last boss, and I never, ever beaten him. So, but it was a good game, and I believe a lot of people have played it back then. Gears of War 3, this one had, like, a really weird story to it. People were saying they hated Gears of War because of the controls and stuff, but I really liked Gears of War 3. It was a really good game. It wasn't terrible. It had, like, a lot of monsters in it, and it was, like, a third-person style, but not, like, I don't know. Another game, that I kind of liked was Splatterhouse. Splatterhouse was a really, really gory game. I'm not going to explain the gore because... like, it's, like, really violent to talk about. I'm not a wuss or anything. I just can't really show it. It's not, like, YouTube's revenue or anything. It's just that I'm going to do this thing where I show it at school sometimes, and I just don't want to, talk about it. But like I said, there's, like, a lot of blood and gore. There's nudity in it, and, like, it was a fun game, though. But, it had, like, a lot of metal bands in it, like, as you fought the enemies. Hardcore extreme horror. It was never scary. It was just, like, really gory, and it just, like, had, like, a lot of blood effects to it. You had to, like, when you fought an enemy, you had to, like, rip off their arms and feed it to them so they exploded and stuff like that. I'm not gonna go any further, but, yeah. A game that I really, really was hoping for to be good, it was Silent Hill HD Collection. It featured 2 and 3. I do not have any other Silent Hill games except Downpour, but, the other games were I just didn't want them, and I don't think they sell them anymore, and so I just got that. It was a good game, and I never beaten any of it, because it was really too hard and stuff, and it just didn't do it for me. But I love monsters, they're awesome, but it just didn't really do it for me. Next up is Gears of War 2. Gears of War 2 had a really sad story to it, because, I didn't cry or anything, but it had, like, a really sad story, because you knew, like, the world was going to hell, and it was just, like, you had to fight, like, a bunch of, things that you didn't even know about yet, and it was, like, a really heartbreaking thing when, Dom's, wife died, and stuff like that. But, next up on the list is Dishonored 1. Dishonored 1 was a really, really good game. It taught you about stealth and stuff, and you could do a lot of stupid stuff as well. You can kill like civilians. Of course, it would punish you by for like restarting the game. You didn't, there was this thing that I did a long time ago in the game. There was an enemy that you were supposed to kill, and it was a girl that was a bunch of rats, because there was a plague going on around. And it would make the humans would form into the rats would form into humans, and it was like a really weird thing. But if I sliced at someone, they would burst into rats. But this girl told me that the killer is somewhere around in some other world, like I said, it's like Wolfenstein as well. And it was some other world, and I go and I lightly squeezed the trigger and I sliced her, and it turned out she was the enemy that killed my wife and took my daughter. So, but it was really interesting to see what you can do in the game. I might replay it as well, because I don't know, maybe. Next up is Riddick, the Chronicles of Riddick, Assault on Dark Athena. It has both of the games, Escape from Butcher Bay and Assault on Dark Athena. I beat both of them, and it was a really good game. There's a lot of swearing in it, and, like, I don't care, but there's a lot of swearing in it, and it's just not necessary. It wasn't necessary. There was, like, a lot of threats in there. Like, even though you were, like, a mass killer, there was, like, a bunch of threats in there. And it was, like, it was a fun game, but there was just, like, a bunch of freaking curses in there. And it was, like, over the top. Like, at least when I curse, like, if I'm upset a little bit, I'll just, like, say, like, 3 or 2 times or something like that. If I'm really upset, I'll go way too far. But, next up is Dishonored 2. I had to rent this one. I didn't rent it, but I bought it at the rent station. Because it was only a few dollars, so I bought that one. Dishonored 2, I was really looking forward to the Clockwork Soldiers. They were really cool that I heard about, and, like I said, it's like Wolfenstein and stuff like that. I'm still tired because I just woke up. I know it's day, and it gets day faster out here, but yeah, so. Next up is Crysis 3. This one was a really good game. You could have, like, this, pullback bow, and it would make no noise whatsoever. You could, like, I never had the first one because I have 2 and 3. I never got the first one because it was for PC, and it was a really, really bad that I heard about. But Crysis 3 had, like, a good atmosphere of, like, an action game, and they had, like, aliens and creatures and stuff like that. Next up is Red Faction Guerrilla. This was a fun game to mess around with, just killing random people, blowing up their cars, and doing, like, a bunch of evil stuff. I did do that for a while, and then I started, I started doing, like, the gameplay and going further in the missions and stuff like that. Next up is Fallout 4. I know some of you guys be pissed off about this one as well, because you guys say, like, mods freeze up the thing, and which it does, but it was a good game. It was a good addition to 3. But what I agree with is that Fallout New Vegas was terrible. That one was really, really bad. I don't know why. It was just, I don't have it anymore because I just got rid of it. It was just really, really, really bad and hard and it just wasn't suitable for me. I just didn't like it. I know people who like the Fallout series and who grew up with the old PC RPG deal, and it just didn't really work out for me. I just didn't like it, and it just didn't have like a good story. Doom 2016. This was a great game. Was a really good action game. And I do not have it for VR, but I heard that was really good. The demons, the power-ups, the guns, everything. And, like, the throwback to the old 1962 things. Like, you could find secret rooms from the old games. And it was really cool. Next up is Red Faction Armageddon. Red Faction, like same one. But this had a really funny gun in it. It's called Mr. Toots. It was like an infinite gun that you could get at the end of the game. It was like a unicorn, and you had to like squeeze it to have like rainbow plasmic farts and stuff like that. And it would cut things down and rip things in half. I know it's quite childish, but for like an adult game like this, it was like really good. It was like a really good game, and you could like have infinite ammo and stuff like that. It had a really good story to it as well. Dead Space 3. Fantastic game. That's all I can say. I know people are saying this ruined the franchise. This ruined the franchise. No, it didn't. It didn't at all. It was... I know how they added so much action, so many more levels, and the horror elements were kind of taken away, but it was a really, really, really good game. Like, the enemies in there were kind of annoying and really piss-offable, but I still played it and beat it, and it was a really good game. Next up is Halo 3. Halo 3. I'm almost done with the video, and I'll probably have to do a part 2 with this, but, Halo 3 was a good game, crappy graphics and stuff like that, but it had I don't know what it was. I just played the everlasting piss out of this game, and it was a really, really good game. I don't know what was about it. I felt like it was just going to be so bad, and it just didn't disappoint me. It was awesome. But Bungie is retiring from their things, and they're going back to, like, stuff like that. Like, Halo Infinite is supposed to be a Battle Royale game, and I don't like a lot of Battle Royale games, especially Fortnite. Fortnite sucks. Fortnite sucks. I know that might piss you off, many, many viewers, but I mean, it just didn't do it for me. The building, and then, I don't know what it was. It's just probably because it didn't have first person, and, like, you had to use credit card to get V-Bucks instead of just playing the game just to get chests and stuff like that. But, like, Fortnite just doesn't do it for me. Earth Defense Force 2017, terrible graphics, good game. When I say terrible graphics, I don't mean really, really, really terrible. I mean, like, it was a good game, but the audio retrack of the people screaming and screaming is just over and over again. And I just usually killed my teammates because, like, it just